In the quaint little town of Swampsville, where the lilies bloom as if auditioning for a botanical show, there lived a frog named Jimmy. But Jimmy was not your regular, garden variety frog. Oh no, he was the embodiment of fury. If anger were an Olympic sport, Jimmy would have more gold medals than the locker room could store. One sunny afternoon, as the birds chirped in what could only be described as nature's melody, Jimmy experienced his latest outburst. A butterfly, innocuous and beautiful, dared to flutter its wings too close to Jimmy. "How dare you stir the air around me?" Jimmy bellowed, his face turning a shade of green that would make emeralds jealous. The butterfly, unaware of its crime, continued its dance, leaving Jimmy to grumble and plot its winged demise. But the adventures of furious Jimmy were just beginning. On a stroll through the marshes, Jimmy encountered Gregory, the old turtle, who had the audacity to blink. "Yes, blink!" Jimmy leapt in front of Gregory, eyes bulging. "Did you just blink at me? Are you trying to start something, Gregory?" Poor Gregory, caught in the act of mere eyelid movement, retreated into his shell, hoping to escape the wrath of Jimmy, and it didn't stop there. Later that day, while resting on his favorite log, Jimmy overheard the subtle breathing of a nearby snail. A snail breathing! Can you imagine the nerve? Jimmy, inflamed with irritation, shouted across the pond, "Keep your oxygen to yourself, you slimy slowpoker." The snail, bewildered and a bit out of breath, decided it was best to hold its breath and inch away as stealthily as possible. Walking was another trigger for our amphibious antagonist. When Molly the mallard waddled past Jimmy, her innocent quacking and casual demeanor threw Jimmy into a tizzy. "Walking and quacking? What is this, a parade?" Jimmy croaked furiously as he plotted to ban all forms of locomotion around him. As the sun set on Swampsville, casting golden hues over the murky waters, Jimmy sat on his log, fuming from the day's events. He had raged at blinking, breathing, walking, and even the sheer existence of sound. The crickets began their nightly symphony, and Jimmy, ears twitching, contemplated a stern talking to about noise pollution. In conclusion, Jimmy's day had been outrageously eventful, filled with the kind of anger that could only be found in the most ludicrous of cartoons. His reactions to everyday occurrences like blinking and breathing were not just over the top, they were stratospheric. And as the moon rose, casting a calm over the landscape, one could only hope that Jimmy might find something resembling peace in his dreams. But then again, knowing Jimmy, he'd probably have a bone to pick with the way the moon hung in the sky.